I love making something out of nothing. I'm not trained, but I am brave and determined. Of course, I could hire a professional, but DIY first. Hey y'all, welcome back. Today it's a rainy day. My plan was to start on the garage today, but yeah, it's rainy. I need material and I need some work boots because I don't have any, and it's really not safe. Especially if y'all saw the condition of the garage. It's not safe. It's not a safe environment for just regular shoes. So we're gonna go try to see if I can find some work boots today that are comfortable so I can work safely. So that's what we're gonna do right now. And then we also got to go by Home Depot and get some materials. And I have decided, I ain't tell you this, but I decided I do not want to rent a vehicle today. So I'm gonna just get some 2x4s and stuff like that that I can use to do what I need to do. And then later on, when the weather is better, we can rent a van and actually get like a lot of stuff, plywood mainly, because that's what can't fit in the truck. So
smart decision.
Yeah, that's kind of where my head is. I just don't feel like having to rent something and load it up, drive it, take it back. This ain't that type of day for me. The weather, plus, you know, I've had a migraine for the last couple of days, so that's another layer. I'm just trying to do what I can do today. So that's the plan today. We're gonna go shopping.
All right, let's get it.
You enjoying your breakfast at 10:40 a.m.? Hey y'all, so it's the next day. It's about 3:50 p.m. and I really had to force myself to come out here today to get started on this project. I don't know, I've been really indecisive. I think part of the problem is that with the garage in the state that it is in, I don't really have a lot of workable space. And so I've been kind of going back and forth trying to figure out what type of wood storage rack would work best in the state that the garage is in now, and also considering future projects that I'll be working on. So I have a Pinterest page. I've been kind of trying to get inspiration, and I've kind of been going back and forth because there are so many different directions that I could go. But as I was going through the page, a few different ones kind of stood out to me. One of them is this easy rack by Fix This Build That. He has a YouTube channel, so he did a video. He also has plans available for $10. His rack seems to be functional in the sense that it will hold longer items like 8-foot pieces of plywood or 8-foot boards, and I kind of needed that, but it's not necessarily the most aesthetically pleasing piece, and so I was kind of on the fence about that. Also, I didn't really like those, like the inside shelves, but those would be good to hold like 8 feet 2x4s and things like that. So I don't know, I wasn't quite sure about that one. As I continued looking, I also saw this one, which is a small scrap lumber cart, and that one, I mean, it looked nice. I like the way that it looks. It seems like it would be functional for holding smaller items. I think in the vertical storage I could fit maybe a 5 or 6 foot board, and then the sheet goods would probably need to be 3 or 4 feet wide in order to fit into this cart. So I was kind of like, I don't know if that's enough, and then I wouldn't have anywhere. If I had larger pieces, I would still need a second cart for those. And then I also saw this one, and this one was, for me, was the most aesthetically pleasing one. I really like the look of this one. I would have needed to go back to the hardware store and get some other things, but this one, she says, is made with 1 sheet of plywood. And I'm thinking about all of the things that I already have in the shop, and would I be able to build either of these with what I have. So I went to Home Depot yesterday. Corey and I went, and I got about 12 2x4x8 boards because I was like, I could use those for this project. And I have 1 sheet of plywood, 1 full 4x8 sheet of plywood that is pretty beat up and pretty rough. And then I have lots of scraps. So that's kind of what I'm working with. But I wanted whatever I build to be able to hold all the things that it needs to hold that's already here, plus things for future projects. So ultimately, I decided to go with this one by Fix This Build That. I bought the plans for $10, and so that's the one I'm going to try to make. Anywho, I'm going to try to clear a little bit of space so that I can get to work and start building this lumber rack. Okay, whew. I have my bottom 2x4 pieces cut for the base. I got my one piece of plywood in place. Man, whew, that was a workout. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the base and see about getting the base put together and get the casters on it, and then we'll just kind of see where to go from there. But I think that according to the plan, I think that's what I'm supposed to do first. I'm just gonna build the base and go ahead and put the casters on, and then the next step will be to do the 4 upright pieces. So those are the ones I think that have all of the 5-degree angles on them. And I need to catch my breath. You know what? I saw a video. What's the channel's name? Woodworking for Mere Mortals. Woodworking for Mere Mortals. I watched a lot of his videos when I first started doing this, and I remember him having some kind of device or some kind of jig to help carry these big pieces of plywood. I think I'm gonna go back and find that video and see, was that something he bought or something he made? Because whatever that thing is, I think I need to get it, because maybe I need to do some push-ups or something. But this plywood, this full 4x8 3/4 inch sheet, kicked my butt. Maybe it'll be easier when I get this cart made, and it can be on the cart. The cart can move. I can roll it to where I need it, and then I won't have to carry it so far. But that was a lot. I made some progress. Everything that could go wrong went wrong, but I made some progress. I got the base made, and I got the tall angle pieces cut and the larger support piece cut. I need to cut one more 2x4 so I can have the shorter support pieces. I think this plan has 3 or 4 shelves kind of in the triangle piece, so I think the one that I just cut is like the lower shelf, and so there's 2 or 3 other sizes that go up. But my phone just died, so I don't have access to the measurements right now, so I'm going to stop. It's 6:02. I'm going to stop here and call it a day, I think, and pick back up tomorrow with a fully charged phone. We making some progress, so I'm gonna keep pushing. All right, y'all, this is the next day. It's back cold again. Yeah, just gotta keep moving. Today I realized that I probably don't have fasteners for the casters that I got. I ordered these casters from Rockler. They are 3-inch wheels. Each wheel holds about 250 pounds. They have the swivel. There's 2 that lock and 2 that don't. But for this wood rack, it calls for six wheels. So what I think I'm gonna do is put 4 locking wheels on the 4 corners and then put 2 regular ones in the middle. So if each holds 250, so that's gonna be 1,500 pounds. Nothing should weigh that much. So I think I'll be good with the 3-inch casters. I don't know, we'll just see how tonight plays out. Haven't had dinner yet, so that's kind of an incentive to try to make this go quickly so I can get some food and, you know, get ready for bed since I do have to work tomorrow. But the plan video went live today where I was kind of walking through and talking about the plan, and I saw a comment about this mattress and this big TV here behind me. Just so you guys know, some of the stuff that you're seeing in here is stuff from inside the house. As I was preparing for Thanksgiving and everything was everywhere, you know, I finished the kitchen the night before Thanksgiving. Then I had to, we had to clean everything and get everything set up to host. So basically, we just kind of scooped everything up and just threw it in here. And so that's also part of the reason why this garage is such a catastrophe right now, is because we just threw stuff in here just wherever we could find a flat surface to throw it down. We just threw it down, stacked stuff on top of each other. And so that made the process, this situation, even worse, on top of all of the excess and whatever from the build itself. So that's where the organization and all of that stuff comes in, is to solve those types of problems. If I could execute this thing correctly, all of those problems will be solved inside and outside of the house, and we won't have this problem again in the future. Anyway, I guess that's enough talking for now. Let me get to work and see how much I can get done. Let's see what I can do in 30 minutes. All right, 30 minutes. Hear that? That's why I think I need another door, and I need these to be electric. Okay, so that was about 30 minutes. I finished the cuts that I wanted to do. Yeah, it's a rainy day, and it's just like the rain just makes me want to be lazy and just chill and sit on the couch. I think that's all I'm gonna do for tonight, and maybe I'll go out in the morning. Definitely, I know tomorrow afternoon. But I think at some point I need to get to the hardware store so I can get some screws and figure out what type of screws I need for the casters that I have. And then I can kind of put everything together. It's the next day. I don't know what day this is. 2, 3, 4. I don't know. Anyway, this literally is a one-day project if you do it the right way. But obviously here we do things the hard way. So we're gonna continue. I think the next step is to put together the upright pieces. I have all of the 2x4 pieces cut, and hopefully I cut them all correctly to where they all line up and are even. I'm gonna sand the wood a little bit because it's kind of rough and I don't want to get splinters later. And I'm still thinking about whether I want to paint this or not to try to make it look a little better. So we'll see. Obviously that's something I can do later on if I decide to. But anyway, I have about an hour before I need to be leaving for work, so I'm gonna try to work pretty quickly this morning. The sanding is pretty much done. I double checked all of the support pieces for the upright parts to make sure I cut them correctly. And it looks like I cut the first 3 sections correctly, but for this one, I did not cut these correctly. And I know what I did wrong because these are 5-degree angles here and they are making the cuts go the same direction. So this one goes this way and this one goes this way. What he suggested was to put it on the miter saw, cut this side, then flip it, and then cut this side. And so I was using one piece to measure the next. Later, I was thinking, I was like, if I use this piece, I cut it, and then I measure the next one by this one, I'm making the next one a little bit longer and a little bit longer and a little bit longer because I put it up to the next one and then I did a straight line across from one to the other. So if you can imagine that the line is going out, it's extending out across the wood. So you're gonna have 2 very different sizes of wood, right? So you can see the difference there from one to the other. So that's not gonna work. So I'm gonna need to kind of recut some of these, you know, double check the length and recut them so that they're all the same. But the other ones I think are fine because I did them different. I actually measured each one instead of measuring one with the previous one. But I'm gonna go ahead and start putting some of these together. I think I have just enough time to do that and then I'll be heading out to work. So anyway, that's where we are, making progress. Again, if you're gonna do a project like this, you could literally do this in one day if you have all of the materials that you need, and if you go ahead and do all of the cuts in the beginning. Yeah, just go ahead and do all the cuts, and that way you could just do the cuts, sand everything down, put everything together, and call it a day. You could do this in probably half a day if you just work consistently. So I'll keep that in mind for the next project. Anyway, we're gonna work with what we got today. All right, back from work, ready to continue. This morning I was able to kind of get the first section, and again there's supposed to be another section right here. I'm gonna have to recut those pieces. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do all of that. I did go to the hardware store and I got my screws. So I got the 1.5" self-tapping screws, self-drilling, tap, whatever. Anyway. This is what I mean when I say everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Now I'm trying to drill into this wood and the drill bit is stuck in the wood and I can't get it out. So now I gotta go back in the house and try to find a wrench or something that I can use to try to pull this drill bit out of the wood. So this is how a one-day project turns into 5. I swear. So I got 3 of the 4 upright pieces put together. I actually ran out of screws. So that means another day added. Yet again, this, what I'm sure could be a one-day project is becoming long. It's becoming long and unnecessarily long, only because I am ill prepared for what I'm doing and I'm making it harder on myself. So obviously we are not going to be able to do this whole garage this way. So I got to get way more organized and structured in the preparation part, so I can make sure I have everything I need and I know exactly, like, I have a game plan going into whatever the project is. Because at this rate, if I do the whole garage like this, it's going to be 2 years again working on the garage, and that's not the goal. Show you the other thing I did. Just making my life more difficult. Okay, so this is the platform. This is the bottom of the wood rack. So these are the 2x4 frames, and then this is the 3/4 inch plywood. The circular saw I have, it's battery powered, and for some reason it does not cut this very well, and it stops repeatedly. I can change the battery and it'll go for a little bit and it'll just keep cutting off, like it's really struggling to cut through the wood. I don't know why that is. Maybe because it was cheap. I'm actually going to get a new circular saw, and I want a new miter saw as well. When I was trying to cut this wood yesterday, for some reason I did not cut it straight. So now I have this lip here. This is supposed to be flush, but it's not. So I have to fix that, because I think according to the plan, I'm supposed to put a piece of wood here, like this, and attach it to here. So I have to fix that before I can put everything together. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so I don't know how much I'm going to get done tomorrow, because, you know, I'm going to be with my boo. But I just need to get this done. I need to get this done this week so I can get this video out for Monday. So either tomorrow or Thursday, I'm going to try to get this fixed and get everything attached so I can get this project done. We got to do better, y'all. We got to do better. I'm going to get myself together, though. I'm working on it. So I guess that's all I'm going to be able to do today. And we'll pick back up tomorrow or Thursday or whenever and get this done. So yeah, that's where we at. I will not be discouraged. I will not. We'll get this done. It's going to be great.